Radio will never die. Why radio will never die? I've experienced the internet so far, and as my platform is growing, I feel the love, I feel the support, I feel the engagements, I feel the conversations that my platform is creating. And I also interact with other brothers and sisters who are hosting successful podcasts in the country. And just the type of conversations that we have based on, especially a few of us who've been on mainstream radio before. And just the differences that the internet clout or the internet wave or attention or engagements or impressions or fan base or support compared to the mainstream support. I don't think you guys understand what it means to be on Ukhozi FM. I don't think you guys understand what it means to be on Metro FM and how magnanimous, humongous that power is. That's the reason why it's called the mainstream media. Once you're there, it comes with some form of credibility. It comes with some form of obviously bigger numbers, and you end up becoming a fabric of the culture of society in South Africa. There's something about you being on mainstream TV or mainstream radio that is so different than being on the internet. Because I've been on both, I know the biggest power that I've ever experienced on any radio station was on Ukhozi FM. Till today, the last time I was on Ukhozi was 2006, 2007. That was before the release of my second album, before the release of Violence, Volume 1. By the way, Violence Volume 1 was not my first album. That was my second album. My first album, I had done it with the late, great DJ Iggy Smalls. May his soul rest in peace. Some of you guys will remember him from YFM if you're older. If you're over 35 years old and you're living in Johannesburg 15 to 20 years ago. My first album was called House Tunes, which I had done with DJ Iggy Smalls. But my second album, Violence Volume 1, the one with Remember When It Rained, the one with a lot of my classics, For a Reason, etc., and all of those songs. That was my second album. My second album got released, I think, when I was on Ukhozi, or just that year, yeah. So it's around 2007. But till today, which is 2024, I still get stopped and get told about some of the things that I said on some radio shows in the past on Ukhozi, even on Metro FM. That's how big Ukhozi FM's impact is in this country, and you can never take that away. That's why most people who are on mainstream radio, they would rather be on radio for long, even though they don't make a lot of money through the paycheck that the station gives you, but the opportunities that it brings to you, the gigs, the relationships, the money, the sponsorships that you get, the endorsements, the relationships, the platforms there. Guys, you guys don't understand how big mainstream media is. Until today, I've never experienced the type of impact. I've been on a lot of platforms, guys. I've been on a lot of platforms, but I've still have never experienced the amount of impact that I had on Ukhozi FM and on Metro FM. Guys, Ukhozi is a beast. Metro FM, guys, is a beast. Mainstream media is a beast. Some of you guys who might have been interviewed there once, or who might have appeared on some show, or who might have contributed on some show, or some of you guys who might have presented or hosted some shows on those platforms, you'll agree with me about the impact of those platforms. And I think somebody who understands that power is somebody like Somizi. Somizi is a master. I once did a video, I think it was sometime late last year, where I was giving Somizi his flowers while he's still alive, and I was just saying, Somizi is small letter God of entertainment in South Africa. And I was explaining some of my opinions on why I say that. I still say that even now. Somizi is a God, small letter G, of entertainment in South Africa. He's slick, he's smart, he's funny, he's witty, he's intelligent, he's experienced. He grew up in this industry, that's all he knows. He comes from a legendary family. May the late great Ntate Ubaba Somizi kade simbiza umshefane, his acting names and some of the characters that he played. But his real name was Ubaba Ndaba Mhlongo. Rest in peace, Baba Siyabonga. We grew up watching him on TV. No Mama Somizi as well. We know him through the name Umampinga and how big they were. So it's understandable that they birthed a child who got into this industry from an early age as a Right now, Somi's in his late 40s or early 50s. He's still one of the biggest things in this entertainment in this country, if not the biggest, right? All-rounder. Somizi guy sells out venues. Somizi crowds malls. He can't just walk easily in jail. He's just that type of star power. And he understands the power of mainstream media. Somebody asked me the other day and said, Sabu, if you were to be asked to come back to mainstream media, would you come back? And I said, yeah, I would. And I also did a video like that last year. I think that's when I ended up trending. I think my brother Sizwe Dlomo ended up commenting and we ended up trending and people ended up thinking we were beefing and we were not beefing. But the conversation was around me going back to the SABC, me going back to Metro FM. Yes, I would. I would go serve my country. I wouldn't not take advantage of such an opportunity on any day. I would definitely go back to Metro. I would definitely go back to Ukhozi FM. Why? To serve, but to also inspire, encourage, motivate, and to just go and experience my skills. And one misses radio. You know, if you've done something all of your life and that's all you know, for me, that's radio. Everything else I do, yes, I'm an all-rounder in a lot of things, but if there's one thing that I'm good at is DJing and hosting radio shows. That's what I was born to do. That's my special talent, and making music. So music and being a DJ on air and obviously club DJing, etc. are my core talents. Everything else and the influence that I've amassed, by default, you end up becoming an inspiration and people want to hear your story, and because you've been on all these big platforms, you get a lot of opportunities, etc. And people end up saying you're such an inspiration, you're such an inspiration. Then you write books but all of those things are secondary to the main thing, being the music, being on radio, being hosting, DJing. And I would definitely, without a hesitation, negotiate that contract. And I understand that also my brother Thibaut Touch understands that. And I guess that's why he had to go back to Metro. Guys, you don't understand the power that those radio stations and those platforms have. That's why they're called mainstream media. Guys, it doesn't matter. Actually, by the way, I also did one video where I was saying, you're never bigger than the brand. You can never be bigger than the station. Like, Metro is so big, Ukhozi is so big, that it doesn't matter who they put in there. And sometimes if they put you in there for a couple of years, you might end up thinking, it's because of you, you are the star. No, it's the structure, it's that station, it's the listenership, it's the relationship it has with South Africans. It's been a part of people's lives. Imagine these stations have been around for decades, these platforms. So nothing surpasses being on SABC 1, nothing surpasses being on Ukhozi, Motsweding, Thobela, Mungana Lonene, Parafara, Umhlobo Wenene, Ukhozi FM, Metro FM. Those are mainstream platforms, and guys, they are huge. They are huge. It makes sense why they charge so much for companies to advertise. And it obviously also makes sense why other people are there for so long. And even if they get bigger opportunities, Ntate Thuso can get his business to become a 100 million rand business. Ntate Chomane can have his company becoming, but how long have they been with the SABC? I know Ntate Chomane is no longer with Lesedi, but how long was he there? For a couple of decades. Why? Because of exactly what I'm talking about, the impact of those platforms. Go ask any of us who's been on any of those platforms. If you still look at this country's top 10, I know people like categorizing celebrities also with A-list, B-list, C-list, D-list. If you still look at what you would consider A-list celebrities in South Africa, you would find out that actually even still today, that list is made up of majority of people from the SABC or from mainstream media. Guys, those platforms are huge. I'm even saying it for some of you guys who are in the future going to end up on those platforms, or some people who are interested in media and broadcasting or entertainment or just the radio culture in this country or TV. You can never be bigger than those platforms. It doesn't matter who they put in there. They can put in someone who's just a mediocre DJ, but that platform is going to turn you into something else. Imagine, I'm still getting booked almost every other week to come speak or to come DJ or to come do an appearance. I'm still selling books even till today, even though my books are still old. I know I've got a new book coming later this year because I've been on those platforms. Bonang is Bonang because of those platforms. Remember where Trevor Noah started as well? Remember Real Kopoza? You can name all of us. You can say Boiti, you can say Lerato Khanyago, you can say DJ Fresh, you can say Robert Marawa, Thibaut Touch. You can mention so many names. But a lot of the people that have been on the mainstream for a while, especially those who've been on both TV and radio, and especially those who've been on SABC 1, and obviously the other platforms as well, TV channels, mainstream is still, I believe, the biggest, or they still are the biggest platforms in the country. And just how people live their lives, man. When you're getting into that car, even if you love music or you love McG and Penuel and Smooth and El Tita and all these different podcasts so much, but when you get into your car, you're with your family. For some reason, second nature in you says switch on the radio. And sometimes you find that your dial is stuck on your favorite radio station, right? So the impact of mainstream media, never take that for granted. And never underestimate the impact and just how big those brands are. And you are never bigger than the brand. You are never bigger than the channel. You are never bigger than the station. You are never bigger than the platform. But you can use the platform to propel yourself to greater heights, which is exactly what most of us have done in this industry. But anyways, guys, go and research and understand and find out why these platforms are so big. And I think it's a beautiful, interesting case study where people will be saying, hey, radio is dying, radio will never die. Never. Radio in South Africa, it'll never die. It'll evolve. People have cameras in their radio studios. They'll have podcasts. Some radio stations have got podcasts they put on their website. But just the art of the actual radio mic and people connecting with that radio presenter, radio DJ, radio host, it doesn't come close to anything. That's how big these platforms are. And I thought I should just do this video. It's quite an interesting one. It's something I've experienced in my life. And also just leaving those platforms, I would say, as much as your star power decreases, it also depends on what you do after you leave those platforms. Either to go start your own business, start your own other platform or podcast, or move wherever you move to. But it's always important for you to not make rational decisions or emotional decisions and just want to leave such a big platform. Some of us didn't leave willingly. We were fired. But that's the reason why if I were to be asked to come back on Metro FM, on Ukhozi FM, I'll jump on the opportunity. And obviously the deal has to make sense. Danko!